Hello, everybody. Welcome to Step Into the Portal. It is an early morning game as I have several things I need to do today, but I wanted to get this game on the table. I'm watching myself stare at the camera because this thing went live slowly. So anyway, thanks so much if you are joining me, if you're watching this afterward as well. Thanks to you. Go ahead and give the video a thumbs up, and if you like what we're playing on the channel, you can subscribe to it as well. So today I'm playing Votes for Women. This is from Fort Circle Games, and kind of give you a little bit up front here of like a review. So I think the mechanics in this game aren't something that that are necessarily new or different, but I think the content in this game is amazing. In fact, the box comes with a ton of like replica things from the time period, and then there's even a book here that I can't get out. That explains all of the different documents and things that come in there. And so, you know, in some sense, it's an educational game. The game is great. I should be careful when I say there's nothing new here, but the game is solid, and it is a perfect way to learn about this. I mean, very simply for me, just learning the fact that this took 72 years for women to get the right to vote in America is a huge thing. Like, in my mind, that makes sense, but to actually see the numbers on the paper and everything is a big deal. So I do think it's an important game in that front, in that it can teach you a lot. So I'm going to try my best to read all of the flavor text. It's not a lot. They're single sentences, because I think that's a big key part of what I like about this game. What I like about playing this game is that you're learning something as you play, but you're still having fun playing a game. I want to reiterate that because I may have made it sound like the game was not good, and I think the game is good. In fact, I think the game is great. They also do a lot of really interesting things. So the game is the suffragettes versus the opposition, but some of the things that they did were when you play, you can play like 2v2, but you can also play a co-op mode. So instead of having to play 1 versus 1, you can play 2 factions of suffragettes, which there were. Factions is a weird thing. There were different groups, right, working around the country. And so you could represent 2 of those groups versus the opposition, which is also a way to play solo. So I think that's really smart for people who just wouldn't feel comfortable playing the opposition or wouldn't be interested in playing the opposition, right? They want to see this thing happen. So I think Fort Circle did a great job with all of those things. But without further delay, let's get to the game so I can show you the game. All right. Here we go. So this is a map of the United States. There are 48 states because Hawaii and Alaska were not states at this time. So that's why you'll see the continental 48. They're broken down into 6 regions going west to east here, with New England being up here, and Connecticut, where I am, is all the way up here. So there you go. Each faction, each side, excuse me, I'm going to stop using that terminology, is controlled by a deck that we have here, and each one has early, mid, and late in the movement to get votes for women approved. We have a congressional track here for congressional support, and basically to get the 19th Amendment approved, we need to get this up to 6. Once that happens, we then need to get each state to have 4 votes in favor, and if they have 4 votes in favor, we'll use these check marks. After that, we have to get 36 of the states to ratify it. If we get 36 states with the check marks, then we win the game. And there's a few extra in here, so I'll actually have to count them out, I just realized. Meanwhile, the opposition is working similarly to keep this from happening. If this does happen, then they want to get 13 states to say no. So that is kind of our win-loss condition. We have 6 turns to represent 6 different time periods of that. The game is controlled by cards, and these are our votes, or favor? Is it influence? I don't actually remember what it's called. I think of it as votes. Political power. I'm just going to say votes, even though it's not technically votes. I think that works fine for our purposes. Yeah. So then over here we have certain states. So there's 12. I think there's 12 of these cards in the game. There's 12 kind of key states. And if you get to that 4 mark, even without getting the check mark, because again, the check only happens if the congressional support gets to 6 there. But if you get to 4 in your in one of these states, and you collect one of these cards, and basically every time I take an action to use a card from my hand, I can use one of these cards here. Lastly, there's these strategy cards, where I can spend my, I don't know, these are like buttons and whatnot, like they would have in the period. So votes for women, National American Women's Suffrage Association, another votes for women one. So these are other influence that we have that we could spend on other resources. It's a man's world unless women vote. Love it. Love the theme of this game. All right. So we are able to try to gather one of these strategy cards at the beginning of every round. The first round we won't be able to because basically we have to bid these tokens and we don't have any. So automatically the other side will win. We do use some dice to control things, specifically the other player. This is the opposition here, in which we say, boo, boo, sir. All right. So there is that. So the way the game is going to start, like I said, we'll play over 6 rounds, is we are going to draw 6 cards from the deck, and we have a starting card, the Seneca Falls Convention. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these cards, they're really quite simple. Not much to even show you here, but they say the time period they're from just for shuffling purposes, and then they have an ability on them. So that's really all there is, obviously with the flavor text, but there's no numbers or other things that you need to know. A few have some symbols where they'll get put into play here. So really straightforward. The Oppo bot is just going to draw cards each round, and basically in a round I'm going to play 6 cards. I'm going to take 6 actions, with each of these being a bonus action if I want to take it. I'll be left with 1 card, and then I will repeat and draw 6 more and go through there almost through the deck in the end. So what can I do with a card? So I can play a card for its event. I can play a card to campaign. So eventually I'm going to get these campaigners on the board. They're going to be in the regions. When I do that, I get to roll these D12s, which really are kind of D4s, because they go 1 through 4, 3 of each. And then I rolled a 3 and a 4 here. I could spend these buttons to be able to re-roll dice if I want to. And then I can spend these by placing votes in those regions. So I can assign a 3 to one of them, and I can go 1, 2, 3. And I can assign a 4 to another one and go 1, 2, 3, 4. And I can put Connecticut in the positive category if I am so inclined. Oh, wow, there's lots of people here. Thanks for joining, everybody, nice and early. So I can spread those out within the region. In addition, when I take this action, I could spend one of these buttons so I can move my campaigner to a different region because I want to place cubes in those spots. All right? That's that one. The next one I can do is I can simply discard one of my cards to gain these buttons, which, I don't know, I kind of like calling them buttons thematically, but do they have another name? They are suffragist buttons. Perfect. So we're going to call them buttons. All right, try to get the theme spot on there. So I can discard a card as my action, and I can gain buttons equal to the number of campaigners I have. So I can just get more of these, which I'll also use to bid at the start of the round. And then my final action is I can try to gain congressional support. So a little bit tricky, but I have D6s here, and for every campaigner I have, I can roll a die, and if I roll a 6, hey, I did, then I will get 1 congressional support. There are also cards to get this congressional support, so there are other ways, and cards that can enhance that die roll. So hopefully we will make this work out. The Oppo bot is pretty simple. They have this card they're going to play at the start of the game, basically, the first turn of round 1, the first turn of... the first round of turn 3, sorry, these are turns and then rounds are individual, and the first round of turn 5. Other than that, they're just going to turn up these cards from their decks, do the events as written, and otherwise they will campaign. Actually, let me double check that I remember exactly what they do. So they'll play if... Yeah, so whenever they specify a state, we roll dice. That's how we can figure out where we are. So we have D6s. So that's why we have different colored dice for them. But it's all the same. And then they can claim these cards. All right, and then if they play it for campaigning, then we roll a D6 to determine the region, move somebody to that region. Yep, and then they just roll a die to figure out where they randomly go. Cool. So yeah, they're basically rolling dice, and we see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then there's 8 regions within each. So basically, when we randomize for the Oppobot, we roll like this, and they would go to Region 6, State 4, and that would be Maine, and that's where they would do their campaigning. All right, so that's going to be the idea. So let us begin. All right. So probably the first thing we'll do, just to make it simple, is play this Seneca Falls Convention, led by Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Lucretia Mott. The resulting Declaration of Sentiments helped advance and shape the struggle for women's suffrage. So we're going to play this card. It lets us add 2 campaigners to the Northeast region, like this. We receive 2 buttons. And then we add 2 in New York. So it says 2 of any color. We're going to put 1 of each. Some of those can get removed. They don't really compete with each other, but the opposition has ways to remove one color or another. So we will do that. All right, so the very first turn for that opposition is going to be the patriarchy. So first coined in 1632, patriarchy describes a social hierarchy and system of political power dominated by men for their own advantage. So we're going to add 1 in the South region. And there are different figurines for this too. Actually, maybe I should put these people like this for you on camera. All right. So they're going to come in the South and add 1 in each state in the Northeast region, the Atlantic and Appalachian region, the South region, and the Midwest region. So here we go. So we are adding 1. Oh, not plains, right? Did it say plains? No. So here we go. They are adding 1 cubed each. Now, it is a kind of quote-unquote struggle for power, if you will, which is where votes doesn't really make sense. But when they place 1 in New York, for example, they're going to remove 1. They're just going to remove 1 instead of place 1. So there's only 1 side. I gotta start saying the other word. Or the other in each spot. And that is how that will work. So it is a tug-of-war style struggle for control. All right, these little boxes go to the states. All right. There we go. That is their card. They've done plenty. All right, so now it is us, so we get to play another card here. Roll a D8, and we can add, so we want to look at some of these places, like here's add 2 in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware. Petition to Congress. Add 1 in Congress and add 1 in 1 state of each region. Well, that's pretty good. They do have ways to remove ones, so I wonder if we want to wait on that. Let's do this one. Women to the polls. So we're going to add 2 in each of New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware. So we're going to take away from New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware and add 1 to each. And I'm going after New Jersey because it is one of the cards here, as well as New York, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Texas, Kansas, Ohio, California, and I think I skipped over Virginia there. So those are the states that we're going after. All right, so that will be our card for now. So then we're going to go to them. They're going to draw a card. Play if there's at least 1 support in Congress. There isn't. Remove 1 from Congress and add 2 in Missouri. Oh, I didn't read this one. In 1868, black and white women in Vinland, New Jersey, used this blueberry crate as a ballot box to protest their lack of suffrage. Supreme Court ruled that the 14th Amendment did not grant suffrage to women because the Constitution doesn't confer voting rights to anyone. All right, so they're not going to do that, so instead they're going to roll. So they will roll, and they will go to the 4th region. I believe if there's a card, they're going to add to that region instead. Okay, and then we add this number to the roll. I guess we have a different die here. We want it. All right, so they're going to add 3 to something in the Midwest, which is Ohio. So that will actually allow them to take the Ohio card. So this will be theirs. Draw 2 cards in the dark deck, discard 1, and play the other card for its event immediately. The Oppobot. Play if there's at least 1 in Congress, remove 1 from Congress. So they're not able to do that. All right. They won't do another thing. So they're just going to take that card that we now cannot get in Ohio. Oh, they have higher numbers. The black and gray dice are only used in the end for the final voting. Thank you. All right, cool. I appreciate that. I guess for randomizing, it's not a big deal. It was still a 3, so unfortunately, there's that. Gotcha. All right. I appreciate that. I missed it, so thank you, Daniel. All right, back to us. So now we have a bunch here. Now let's do this one. Playable if the Civil War is not in effect. Let's try to go for it. The 15th Amendment. So we are going to roll on a 3, 4, 5, or 6. We rolled a 6. We get to add 2 in Congress. And it says, while some suffragists opposed it to focus on universal suffrage, others supported the 15th Amendment that extended the right to vote to black men. So this is going to stay in play because there's going to be cards that are going to trigger that. And then we add 8 anywhere, no more than 2 per state. All right, so let's add 2 to New Jersey because we're going after that card. Let's add 2 to New York. Let's add, we've got 4 more. What are the other states we're chasing here? Pennsylvania. So we'll add 2 there to Pennsylvania. And we have Kansas, Georgia, Texas, Virginia. All right. Let's not let them... Maybe we can get some of these other ones early. Maybe we can just go get California and be able to use that effect. Cool. All right. I did not even realize. I did actually use these in my other play, but I thought maybe I should show using those. So it always goes to show you there's a little bit extra in there. All right. They are going to draw. South Dakota rejects suffrage. Suffragists set their strategy toward incremental change, sustaining some wins and many losses in states across the country, including South Dakota. Play if there's at least 1 in Congress, remove 1 from Congress, and add 2 in South Dakota. Ooh, South Dakota. All right. Let's keep going this way because this is going well. Add if the Civil War is not... Play if Civil War is not in effect. Add 1 support in Congress and 1 to 1 state in each region. Perfect. So we're going to go to Pennsylvania. We're going to go to New Jersey. We're going to come down here to Georgia. Remove 1. In the Midwest, we're just going to go for Illinois. Over here, we'll go Kansas, and then we'll go California over here. We should switch up some of these colors. So we have different colors in different places. Okay. All right, so then we claim the New Jersey card and the Pennsylvania card. So we can use these, add 6 in the Atlantic and Appalachia region, no more than 2 per state. We can receive 2. So we're going to play this one for New Jersey, and we receive 2 more buttons. Nice. And then we've got this Pennsylvania card. We can only use 1 of those after each action. All right, next up is gerrymandering. Gerrymandering is the practice of drawing legislative maps to let politicians choose their voters instead of voters choosing their elected officials. So we will remove all yellow from the 2 states with the most yellow cubes. So this is where that is going to apply. So we'll go here, and then we already got the New Jersey one, so we'll remove that one as well. All right. So that is what we're going to do. Then, man, we're doing well with all of this. So let's do petition to Congress. During debate on the 14th Amendment, activists led a universal suffrage campaign and petition for voting rights regardless of race or gender. So we add a support, and then we add 1 to a state in each region. So we'll come to California, so we get this card. We'll keep going with Kansas here. We will add 1 to New York, so we get the New York card. So we've got lots of cards here. Oh, we did New York. Let's add 1 then to Virginia. We'll put another one in Georgia. And did I miss the Midwest? Yep, so we'll put 1 in Illinois. Did I get 1 in Kansas? Darn it. I think I did. Although I've added +2 here. I think I'm supposed to have one more in Kansas, and I might have missed it. All right. Should have gone in order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Note to myself for the future. All right, so now we can play one of these cards. We can add 6 in the Northeast region. We can draw 2 cards and play the other one. Yeah, let's do this New York one. So we can add 6 in the New England region. So we want these to be relatively close, although we could just wipe out those states. But let's... Is it no more than 2 per state? All right, 1, 2. So we'll do 3, 4 for Rhode Island and 4, 6, 5, 6, excuse me, for Massachusetts. So we'll go each of those states and start to get them on our side. All right, we're going to have one more turn. They have 2 more turns. Place 2 in each of New York and Connecticut. So they're going to pull 2 out of here, and they're going to take back over control of Connecticut. And I say, boo, Connecticut. All right. An erstwhile women's suffrage supporter, Greeley, and other abolitionists supported the 15th Amendment, angering suffragists like Anthony and Stanton. There you go. All right, we've got one more action, so we can roll and add to that region, or we can draw 2 cards, or we can do one of our other actions if we want to campaign somewhere, like trying to go to Virginia or Georgia or Kansas. We have these buttons, huh? Let's do that. So let's use this Vindication of the Rights of Women, written by Mary Wollstonecraft in 1792. The influential book argued women are not property nor ornaments and deserve the same rights as men. So we're going to use this to do a campaign action. We're going to roll these 2 here, and we get 2 4s. So we can add 4 to each of the regions, or obviously 8 in this region, but we want to go and get cards. So we are going to spend a button, and we are going to move the yellow suffragist here, and we are going to add 4 to Georgia, and that is going to give us the Georgia card. And then we are going to spend another button, and we are going to move, ooh, man, to the Atlantic and Appalachia region, and we are going to add 4 here to Virginia, which will give us the Virginia card. And then we could play one of these. Draw from our deck, receive 2 buttons. I think 2 buttons is right about where I want to be. So I'm going to use the Georgia one, gain that, and I've got 4 buttons again. Wow, what a great turn. Okay. New York newspapers. In the late 19th century, many journalists and editors mocked the very idea of women's suffrage, covering the issue with disdain or disinterest. And they are going to gain 2 each in New York and New Jersey. All right, so that will end turn 1. So we will move on to turn 2. So this will move up here. This will go away. This card's in effect for the rest of the game. Excuse me. That one's going to stay there. This is the rest of the turn. We are going to draw 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. And now we can do this strategy action. So we can spend any number of buttons to take one of these cards, and then we roll a die to see if they roll over us or not. All right, so we will spend 2. They are going to roll a 2. I believe we do not get a card on the tie with the Oppobot. Oh. Sorry about that. I probably should have rolled in the first round and I missed it, but we'll be okay. All right, so we do not get a card, so that is going to happen. So we also don't let them take a card. Otherwise, they would take a card as well. All right. So it is back to us. So let's see here. We're doing really well on our congressional votes here. We might not have as many of those going forward. We can roll d6s when taking a campaigning action for the rest of the turn. That could be pretty strong. Oh, let's play this one. Reconstruction. Reconstruction was a temporary period of integrating freed slaves into Southern society through educational and political opportunities. Playable if the Civil War is not in effect and the 15th Amendment is in effect. Add 1 in each of these various states. So here we go. Ready? We're going to add one in Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, Arkansas, Louisiana, and Texas. Look at that. Tide in the South is turning. So that's a good card to get out there. All right, their first round. They're going to play this at the start of the third turn. All right, Old Dixie. To recover from a demoralizing defeat, Southerners create an idyllic fiction of antebellum life that Northerners also sold and bought as fact. So we're going to add one in each of these states. We're coming back the other way. Louisiana, Mississippi, Georgia, and Florida. And Louisiana. So this kind of area right here. All right. Back to us. So we got a lot of these cards. Oh, we also had these we can play, huh? So now our main goal let's do this. The Union Signal. I really like just playing the events. I haven't been doing the other stuff. Magazines written by and for women like the temperance-driven The Union Signal had great reach and helped bring more activists into the movement. And these are the kind of things you can read in the documents they provided. So we're going to receive one here. We now have 3 buttons. And we add one in a state of each region. So where do we want to do that? We're going to add one. We're going to go in order. We're going to add one to Washington, one to Kansas, which will give us this card, one to Texas, one in Illinois. Here we're going to put one in North Carolina, and in the Northeast, let's go back. We're going to favor Connecticut. All right, Senator George Vest. Play if there's at least one in Congress, one support. Remove one and add 2 in Missouri. Vest approved statehood for new territories because of suffrage. I shall never vote to admit to the Union any state that adopts women's suffrage. Whew, man, boo to you, sir. Boo to you. All right, we got to remember we have these extra cards here that we can play as well. All right, we're doing pretty well in that region. The Midwest region could use a little boost. So let's play Sojourner Truth. Sojourner Truth implored attendees at an Ohio suffrage convention to include black women in their fight. So we're going to roll a D8, 4, and we're going to add those in the Midwest region, 1 per state. So let's bring Missouri down, Ohio down, and put one in Illinois. All right, just Texas is left on there. Southern hospitality. The stereotype of warm and generous Southern hostess is rooted in racist and classist ideas, which were at odds with the realities of political citizenship. So we're going to place one in Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Tennessee. I keep forgetting to play my card afterward. All right, Northeast region could use a boost. I might save this campaigning one. How does this sound? I don't have one for the South, huh? My other options are to roll to try to get these, but I need 6s, which is tricky. Or to get 2 buttons, but I feel like I'm okay. If I play this one, I get a button, and then I can add 1 to a state in each region. So let's put 1 in Washington. Let's put 1 in Colorado, 1 in Texas. Let's put another one in Illinois here. That gets to 4. And then here, let's go back to North Carolina, and in the Northeast, we'll put one in Connecticut. All right, then we can play one of these cards. I got to keep remembering this. So we can add 6 in the Plains region, no more than 2 per state. That's pretty wide open. Do we want to keep South Dakota or just go for our own places? I think will work pretty well. All right, there we go. All right, Opobot is Southern resentment. As the Reconstruction dragged on, resentment of Northern influence and black citizenship rose, fostering backlash to political progress in the South. Play if the 15th Amendment is in effect. Add 1 in each of the following states. 1 in Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, and Alabama. All right, we do have that 15th Amendment there. All right, let's go with Frederick Douglass here then. We're going to roll a D8 and add to the region up here. Oh, it's a 1. That is rough. All right, so we will add 1 to Connecticut. Not a good card. Had better options. Oh, and then we can play one of these. These are both draw 2 cards. Let's do Pennsylvania. We can add 6 in this area down here. So let's put 2 in Pennsylvania. Let's put 2 in North Carolina. And let's swap one of these states. How about Maryland? So we'll remove 1 from there and add 1 to Maryland. And I'm just picking colors here. Again, there's only a couple of those cards. We saw one that come out that say remove all this. So I'm just trying to keep them a little more even for that. All right, we played that card. And yeah, we don't even have to track rounds because we just track based on our cards, which is really nice. Border states. Border states complicate the simplistic narrative of the Civil War as North versus South, and they proved to be difficult ground for suffragists after the war. So we're going to add 1 in Delaware, 1 in Maryland, 1 in West Virginia, 1 in Kentucky, and 1 in Missouri. Kentucky and Missouri. All right. All right, we could roll for something here. We could just gain a few more buttons so that we could get one of those cards, which maybe isn't a terrible idea. So let's do that. So we will use Francis Harper, and we will gain buttons equal to our number of campaigners, which is 2. And then we can play one of these cards. Draw 2 from your deck, discard 1, and play the other event immediately. All right, so we got 2 here. So we can roll and add to the Plains region or receive a button and 1 in each state. We're going to do that one. So we get another button, and then we add 1 to 1 region, 1 state in each region. Make sure I say it correctly. All right, 1, 2, 3. Let's fight for Ohio here. And the South. Oh, we got to go for Texas. 4. Went in the wrong order. 5 and 6. All right, and their last card will be the Civil War. Play if it is round 1, 2, or 3 of the current turn. It is not. Remove 1. So they do not do this. Okay, so we kept that from happening. Oh, sorry, Civil War. Southern states seceded from the Union in order to maintain the institution of slavery, a system of human bondage rooted in white supremacy. Ugh. All right, so they are going to roll a d6 to move. They're going to go to Region 2. There's nothing to fight over there, so they're going to roll the 8-sided die, 7, and then they're going to add this many to that region. 4? Man. Cleared out Kansas. Rude. So are there fewer 1s? Nope, they're just rolling that way. All right, there we go. That finishes that round, so we're going to move to round 3. So we don't even have to, search for the remaining, oh, when are we going to get to mid? So now we are there. So I just drew 3 early and 3 mid. So I'm already on my way to the next set of cards. All right, over here, we're going to now bid 3 tokens to try to get one of these cards. They're going to roll a 3. So we lose our 3, but they don't get one. So that's the good part, is we keep them from getting an extra event. as well. All right, starts with us. We have to remember they're going to play this card first. So I'm going to put that on top. Can we add any more people? No. This is where we can get rid of the Civil War. Wow, this is really good. Let's try it. Do we have 2 cards like this? Taking the campaigning action. All right. We're going to play Jeannette Rankin. Rankin was the first woman to hold federal office in the United States, elected in 1916 to represent Montana in Congress. So we're going to roll a d6. We need a 3 or better. We rolled a 4. So we add 1 support to Congress, and then we add 4 to Montana. That's awesome. And 2 to every other spot in the Midwest. We're going to remove 2 there, add 2, add 2, add 2, add 2. Darn, I should have done in order. And add 2. Perfect. I'm going to just swap one of these. I don't know. Maybe keeping them even is worse. Maybe I should have them be one or the other. All right, there's that. Then we could play this California card. Why not? We're doing well, so let's stay ahead. We draw 2, and we can play 1. Receive 2, add 1 in each state. Roll 2 d6s, remove that number anywhere. Ooh, I like that a lot. So let's roll 2 d6s. Let's roll high. 7. So we're going to remove 7 from anywhere. So let's just bring 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Cool, let's just bring them down in number everywhere. So they're singletons and don't get that control that they're looking for. Good morning, Eric. Oh, darn it. Did I miss? Nope, that was just my first turn, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nows forms. Okay. So the formation of the nows was an admission of the suffrage movement's strength and potential. State chapters proliferated to harness opponents' energy. So play on turn 3, round 1. Add 1 campaigner in the Northeast region. Boo to you, sir. And that is where they're going to start. Okay, so now they've got 2 campaigners as well. So we got to think about that. All right, we're going to play Frances Willard. The temperance movement leader saw suffrage as a powerful tool for her teetotaling cause. She famously said, "Politics is the place for women." We're going to add a congressional support. That 19th Amendment is very highly in favor at the moment. So we're going to try to make that happen. All right, and then we'll save these campaigning ones. We have no more bonus cards, so this is just a card versus card. 15th divides suffragists. Play if the 15th Amendment is in effect. Remove all purple cubes from the 4 states with the most. The suffragist loses 2. Ouch. There it is. Many suffragists objected to an amendment protecting voting rights based on a citizen's race, color, or previous condition of servitude, but not gender. All right, from the ones with the most. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll remove them from these states. All right, well, that was not fun. Okay, where do we want to go now? Can add Illinois. That is good. Do we just need to do some campaigning at this point? So we can't use this one because the Civil War is not in effect. So what do we want to do with this? We could get buttons, which aren't bad. We could roll because we still haven't gotten Texas. Yeah, let's do that. Let's campaign. So we're going to play this. We're going to campaign. So we'll roll 2 dice. We roll a 3 and a 3. That's fine. So we'll add 3 here. We'll put 2 in Texas, and we'll remove 1 from Florida. And then 3 can go here. And we'll just put 3 back in Virginia to get that up there. And that means we get this Texas card, which we can now play, and we can put 6 in the South. So let's put 2 in Florida. Let's put 2 in Arkansas. And let's put 2 in Alabama, which is going to remove theirs. Awesome. All right, back to them here. Senator Joseph Brown. Play if there is 1 support in Congress, remove 1, and add 2 in Georgia. Well, boo to you, sir. Brown opposed suffrage partly because it empowered black women. He didn't see value in adding to the voting population all the females of that race. Well, that's horrible. All right. So, add a lot to Illinois. That's actually a pretty swingy card. Ida B. Wells Barnett. An anti-lynching activist and journalist, Wells Barnett helped pass the Illinois Suffrage Act, which gave black and white women the right to vote in 1914. So we're going to gain 2 buttons, and then we're going to add 2 to Illinois, and then 1 to every other spot in that region. So we're going to open up the Midwest to some positive thinking. All right, here we go. The great 1906 San Francisco earthquake. Play if there is at least 1 or 1 in California. Remove all of them from California and lose 1. So there is not. So we are going to instead roll, I believe, for each of them now. Move 1 to that region. Okay. Got it. So we just have to move 1 of them, it looks like. These dice are higher numbers? No. I think these are fine for that. All right. So this one's going to move to 5. So they're going to move here. And then they're going to pick a random state, 4. And they are going to campaign for 1 in state 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is Pennsylvania. Bring these cards down a little. See, there's a deck here. We haven't used those at all. All right. So back to us. Ranger of the turn. We're going to have to use 1 of these. All right. Well, we will gain 1 button, and then we'll add 1 to states in each region. So let's put 1 back in California. Let's put 1 in Nebraska. We'll go with Alabama. Oh, I forgot to go up here first. So we'll go Missouri. Let's go Maryland. Get them on the map, and we'll put 1 in Connecticut. So Connecticut is in our favor. Yay, Connecticut. All right. Western saloons push suffrage veto. When Governor Brody vetoed the Arizona territorial bill, media said the saloon and gambling element were the strongest class that urged disapproval of suffrage. Play if the 18th Amendment is not in effect. Place 2 opposition in Arizona and 1 in each of New Mexico, Nevada, and Utah. Man. All right. So then we've got these 2 cards that are the same. They both allow us to increase our die roll for campaigning, which we're going to save for late. Property rights for women. Called the Jewish feminist Ernestine Rose wrote the first petition to secure women's property rights. A change that fueled the suffrage movement. We're going to use that to campaign. So we're going to roll 2 dice. And we roll a 1 and a 3. So we're going to spend 1 of our buttons to re-roll our 1. And we're going to get 2 3s. So then we're going to figure out where to use those. How about 3 in Arkansas? And we'll put 3 in Delaware. Try to secure some of these places. We may have to spend to do this, but I'm pretty sure I get a card that will do that. Conservative opposition. Anti-suffragists regularly conflated the fight for the vote with radical ideologies like feminism and socialism, using scare tactics to win support. There you go. Scare tactics to win support. All right, so we're adding 2 to some various regions. Let's just let Arizona go all in, let Louisiana go all in, and we'll let something else go all in. How about New Mexico? See what we can do with those. All right, that will end that round. By the way, if we get to end round 6 and this hasn't happened, we auto lose. So that's getting a little looming there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We may need to spend some to get places. All right, we're going to bid 3 again and roll against them. And they roll a 1, so we spend our 3 and we get one of these cards. So we can either roll some dice to add to Congress. I think that's straight up what we want to do. Look through our deck and play a card. All right, superior lobbying, and we'll add another one here. So we're going to roll 4 d8s. For each 6, 7, or 8 roll, we're going to add a support to Congress. So that will be helpful. Come on, 6, 7, 8. Hey, we rolled 1. Perfect. All right, so we got one there. Perfect. So that helped us out. All right, so here we go. Back to here. Round 4, so we don't have to worry about that. Or turn 4, I remember that. We can remove from states. Oh, this one looks good. Oh, unless we're going to want to roll. Wow. Okay. Well, here we go. Southern Strategy. We got a lot of good cards here. Receive 2 badges. Add 2 in each state in the southern region, and then select one of these and place it face up in front of you. Okay. Playable if it's turn 5 or turn 6. Look through your draw deck and select one card and play for its event immediately. Whew. Yeah, that could be really good. But this is just add. So we'll take this one. Receive 2. Much of the suffragist movement embodied America's endemic white supremacy, and many white leaders diminished the role and rights of black women to appeal to racist lawmakers. All right, so we got those 2 in play. I don't know if we need to know each of them, but we'll do that. And we get to add 2 to each state in the South. Nice. So we'll put 2 here. We'll put 2 here. We'll pull 2. We'll swap that. We'll place 2. We'll place 2. We'll place 2. And we'll swap that over. Perfect. Look at that. South is coming around. All right, now we could play this one, but I think that's a good card to hold for when we know we want to get control of something. All right, over here. Play up the Southern Strategies effect. Uh-oh. Remove all the yellows from the 4 states with the most cubes. White supremacy and the suffrage movement. Ideas of racial domination touched nearly every decision suffrage leaders made, shaped the arguments they delivered, and stained the movement's legacy. Ugh. All right, so 4 come away from here, 3 from here, 3 from here, and 3 from here. All right, that's not too bad. It's a lot of cubes, though. Back to us. So yeah, interesting. At some point, we have to think about rolling to get these. All right, Maria de Lopez. Dr. Lopez was a leading organizer in California's 1911 campaign, translating flyers and posters and delivering speeches to Spanish-speaking audiences. So we get 2 more buttons, which is great. And then we add 2 in California, Nevada, and Arizona. All right, Senator John Weeks, a conservative Northern Republican. Weeks aligned with Southern Democrats in the Senate to vote down the suffrage amendment by just 2 votes. Play if there's 1. Remove 1 from Congress and add 2 in New Hampshire. Well, boo to you, sir. Oh, that's getting rough. I know there's a card here somewhere that says I can increase my die rolls, so that's what I was waiting for. Add 2 to each state in the West region. increase all my rolls. I still feel like I want to hold that one. So let's roll 2d6s and remove that many. I'm just going to try to keep them down. Debate us, you cowards! Between tweet storms and TV pundits, public debates helped audiences understand issues, and suffragists distributed briefs to prepare for the clash. We could remove 10 from the board. Okay, awesome. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow, we can like wipe them off this map, huh? 7, 8, 9, 10. Wow, that is rough. All right. Play if it is round 1 or 2 of the current turn. It is not, right? I have played 3. So they're going to roll instead. All right. They are going to region 2, 7. I don't know. I don't just roll this die with it. And they're going to remove 1. Wow. The die rolls are in our favor today. All right, so let's just add some to states, unless we want to get more buttons. Yeah, let's just do this one. The Wes Awakening. The earliest suffragist victories were in western states, where lower levels of diversity and the rise of the pro-suffrage populist party fueled change. Add 2 to each state in the West. Woo! Welcome to the West. 1, 2, 3. Man, this is slow, huh? And then these are all going to switch. Well, we definitely have the country in our favor, so now we just got to get this thing ratified, huh? Okay, unwarranted, unnecessary, and dangerous interference. Add 1 in one state of each region. Some states stridently opposed the suffrage amendment and passed resolutions to warn the federal government against violating their rights as a state. All right, Vermont. We'll add 1 to Tennessee, Louisiana. We're going backwards here. Michigan, Wyoming, and we'll put 1 here in Utah. All right, so maybe we need to take 1 to roll, huh? So we're going to take a card. We get to roll a die for every one of our campaigners. So we have 2, and if we get a 6, we add 1 here. Hey, we got a 6, so it was worth it. Whew. All right, that's going to be helpful in the long run for sure. All right, 1 turn left for us. The SSWSC. Play of Southern Strategy in effect. Add 1 to each state in the South region. The Southern States Women's Suffrage Conference supported votes for white women only and imposed a federal amendment dividing the movement. So there you go. These are coming out, and we have to put 1 here. All right, so now we can add a bunch. I still think I want to save this one. So Emmeline, do I want more of these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't think so. Emmeline Pankhurst. Pankhurst, a British suffrage leader, spoke to American audiences in 1913 as a revolutionary militant willing to risk death for freedom. We're going to roll 2 d6s and add that many, no more than 2 per state. Ugh, only 5, huh? 3, 4, 5. So where do we need to go? Just shore up some states? Maybe we'll just spread the love, huh? See if we can get in our favor. All right, and finally, play if there's at least 1 in Congress, remove 1 and add 2 in South Carolina. Man, that's why we want to get that done. That is Senator Cotton Ed Smith. South Carolina's Smith opposed the 19th, saying the Southern man who votes for the Anthony Amendment votes to ratify the 15th Amendment. There you go. All right. Oh, we should have put another strategy card out here. So now we should be going to late game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're going to play this card first. We are going to need to get more things on the map. Thank you for joining me, everybody. If you have questions or anything, let me know. I'm kind of trying to stick with this, reading all of them here. The map looks great in terms of winning. I need to get this done. I've got 2 rounds now, so we'll have to see where we get. All right, let's risk 3 again. It's barely a risk because we need to get those cards. They're going to roll a 1. We got plenty of these, which is great. So we're going to take one of these cards. Man, I wonder if I should take the one that says do anything. Let's do it. All right, so during the 5th and 6th round, I could play this one, and I can choose any card and play it. So that should give me a button to press. All right. Here we go. National American Women's Suffrage Association. Excuse me. We are going to add 1 into the region here, Atlantic and Appalachia, and receive 3 buttons. As competing organizations, the NWSA and the AWSA were divided over the 15th Amendment, but merged in order to focus on the suffrage fight in these states. Ah, what a wonderful thing. We're divided, yet we will work together. Amazing. All right, play on round 5, turn 1, War in Europe. Remove 1. Man, we have done some hard work to get those, and that's not happening. Remainder of the turn, the suffragist player must spend 1 in order to take a campaigning action. Oh, so maybe we don't want to do that this round, huh? All right, we will play, The War to End All Wars, Interrupted Politics and Suffragist Lives. Many stopped campaigning to join the war effort here or abroad. Inez Milholland. Only the hopes of women have we, and our own spirit and a mighty principle. Women of these states unite. We have only our chains to lose and a whole nation to gain. Wow, that's a great quote. Wow. All right, we're going to add 1 support in Congress, receive 2 buttons, and add 1 to each state in a region. Well, let's go New England, huh? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and this one actually gets removed instead. We're not going to play any of these. All right. Backlash to the movement. Social movements often inspire backlash, and as suffrage sought to redefine the role of women in society, reactions range from bemused to violent. Add 2 in any 3 states. So what have they got left here? So we'll give 2 here, 2 here, and 2 here. Michigan, Wyoming, and West Virginia. All right, back to us. Man, we did not get that card that lets us roll. We're going to do that in the final one. We shall see. Helen Keller. I guess we really need to roll for that, and now we have 3 rolls, huh? So let's get rid of this one. Farmers for Suffrage, a reaction to Gilded Age inequities and agricultural crisis. The Populist Party grew out of the Farmers' Alliance and strongly backed women's suffrage. So we're going to take a, what is it actually called? I did this once. A lobbying action. So we're going to take a lobbying. So we roll 1, and we need to get 6s. 1 for each of our campaigners. We got no 6s. That's a wasted action. Then I get here. All right. Xenophobia. Remove all yellow from the 2 states with the most. Remove all purple from the 2 states with the most. Rampant anti-immigrant sentiment swept across America around the turn of the century, influencing the opposition and supporters of women's suffrage. All right. So 1 and 2 have the most. And the most yellow are here and here. Okay. Got a lot of those. All right, let's go. We should just do a campaign action. we have one that gives us 4. We'll just roll again for the lobbying. Let's try it again. Ugh. All right, that's going to hurt us a lot. The club movement. Black women's suffrage clubs like Chicago's Alpha Suffrage Club and Oakland's Fannie Jackson Shopping Club were important organizing bodies. All right, so that's 6 rolls we missed. That's going to be tough. All right, over here. Oh, save us, senators, from ourselves. Women working against suffrage confused some officials, but the opposition and suffragists used suffragist tactics like circulating petitions and giving speeches. Add 1 to a state in each region. So 1 in Vermont, 1 in Kentucky, 1 in Ohio, 1 in Mississippi, 1 in Wyoming, and 1 in Utah. All right, we can play this card if we want. Try to find something that will help us. I guess we'll see what we draw, though, huh? No, now's probably the time. All right, we're going to play Carrie Chapman Cat, receive 2 buttons, and then add 1 in each state of a region. The women's suffrage movement is for equality of rights and privileges, and it knows no difference between black and white. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, states in each region. So let's start pushing things towards 3. 3. There we go. All right, let's play this one, I guess. Look through our draw deck, select a card, and play it immediately. Whew, that's a lot of things. Oh, that could be really helpful. Ooh, roll a die, add 3 on a 3 through 6. Oh, man, that's good. Or just add 2 to Congress. Let's just go for it, huh? Let's do it. The 1918 midterm elections. On a 3 through 6, we get 3 support. Oh, oh man. That is rough. Thought we'd get it there. All right, that is our play. Wow, so now the dice are not with us anymore. Emma Goldman. The opposition wasn't a monolith. As a radical anarchist, Goldman believed voting was a waste and supported full revolution to achieve her goals. Add 1 in each state of one state in each region. All right, so Vermont, Ohio, Kentucky, Mississippi. We'll pull 1 from South Dakota and add 1 to Utah. Oh, man, we needed that roll. That was big. That was big. What are you going to do? All right. So we'll do Helen Keller here. We're going to roll 2 dice. Best known as a hero for the disability community, Keller was also a radical socialist and supported women's suffrage in speeches and processions. All right, we get to add 5 cubes. Man, these dice are not rolling anymore. 5 cubes. So let's bring some places to 3 votes. Perfect. Oh, that is so sad. The suffragist player must discard 2 cards in her hand at random, then draw 2 cards from the suffragist deck. Okay, well, that's fine. Some men were angered by women fighting for the vote and resorted to violence. Outside the White House, a mob attacked suffragist picketers. All right, so that will end that one. So we have 1 more turn to get these 3. This goes away, the war in Europe. So we don't have to worry about that. They don't have anything special, so we've got to get this down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, we got the cards to get there, so we just got to play those before they get there. We are going to vote. We're just going to go 4. Let them roll a 4. They did. Ugh, man. Just not with us anymore. All those early die rolls. So we could add something here. Okay, so let's just get to this. So Maud Wood Park. Park led congressional lobbying for the NAWSA. She founded the College Equal Suffrage League and was the first president of the League of Women Voters. So we're going to add 2 support in Congress. So we just need 1 more. Does dice rolling make sense for the gameplay and theme? I mean, dice are always a tricky thing, whether they should be in there. There's more dice when you're playing the solo mode because the bot is going to roll dice to represent things. I think it's fine. It's kind of smart in that they go to a region and then when they roll their dice, they pick something where they could gain control. These strategy cards are tricky. It's really trying to get you to spend your buttons that you wouldn't otherwise. So I think it's fine. I mean, it's the same idea that I bid 4 and then they would bid 4 of their buttons just to keep me from getting a card. So, I feel like I'm pushing that same kind of luck of like 1 in 4 chance that I'm going to get the other player to push that hard to keep me from getting something. So there it doesn't bother me so much. The trying to get these and sometimes adding these was probably the trickiest. The ones that say roll a 3 through 6 and there's nothing, like it would be nice if it said instead do this. Like it said gain 3, instead gain 1 would be nice to at least mitigate some of that. So those were trickier, but I chose that card, right? I didn't have to play that. You can always choose to do a card, so you can kind of bring the luck that you want. I don't think it's so bad. It's just how a game is going to work sometimes to make it possible. All right. Oh, no. Play if it's round 1 or 2, the 1918 pandemic. Remove 1 from Congress. From the end of the turn, the suffragist player must spend 1 to play a card as an event. Oh. Okay, that hurts a lot. Everything conspires against women's suffrage. Obedient to the demands of the health authorities, suffragists will refrain from public gatherings. Whoo! I also did not... Okay, when taking a lobbying action. So that's one that I want to do. Do I want to just then go for it? Yeah. All right. Processions for suffragists. So I have to spend 1 to play an event. This is for the remainder of the turn. Roll 8s instead of 6s when taking a lobbying action. For the in 1913, the women's suffrage procession drew attention and new supporters, but the organizers' racial discrimination mars its legacy. So we're going to put that card into effect. And then the American Constitutional League. The ACL argued against the Anthony Amendment by noting that 18 elections over 6 previous years had found a majority of voters rejecting women's suffrage. Yeah, I don't think the die rolling bothers me that much here. All right, 1 in their favor in New York. No, in any 3 states. Man. I guess we're just giving them some states. So Ohio. Or no, let's just go the other way, right? So we'll just give them 1 in Indiana and 1 in New Mexico. We'll do it that way. All right, so then we are going to discard a card. This one says, play if the war in Europe is in effect, and it is not. Women in World War I. While critics cried that it was no time for politics, a focus on self-governance and women's roles in the war effort convinced many to support suffrage. So we're going to do that. We're going to take our roll instead. So we get to roll 1. We get to roll 3. And we need to get 6 7s or 8s. And we rolled a 6. Okay. So we add 1 there. We can do that again next turn. We should be in good shape. All right. United Daughters of the Confederacy. The UDC members were not unanimously opposed to women's suffrage, but the group was devoted to the lost cause myth and Southern women's cultural authority. Play if the southern strategy is in effect. It is add 2 in 4 states in the south region. All right, we're going to give these up to them now. So we'll go 2, 2, and 2. We'll just do it this way. All right. That's probably going to be important too. So maybe we won't worry as much about campaigning. This one for now. Make a home run for suffrage. Athletes have long shared their political beliefs, and some major leaguers even stumped for suffrage, calling it a rank injustice to keep the vote from women. So we're going to do that, but we're going to use this to roll instead. Come on, 1, 6, 7, or 8. Hey, we got it. All right. So the 19th Amendment has been approved. So that means we are now going to switch this other phase, which I'm pretty sure I know, but I'm going to double check that I did it all correctly. All right. When it's placed in Congress, pass the 19th Amendment, sends it to the state. Remove all the things from Congress. Each state that has 4, remove and put them there. For each state that has at least 4 moves. Play continues each time a state has 4. They immediately gain that the moment they're 36 in place. Okay, yeah, that's basically what I had thought. All right, so sorry, I forgot. I didn't take these out of the bag before I play. And there are more than 36 here, so I'm just going to count them out quickly. 6, 9, 12. That makes 17, 20, 3... 27 and 30, 3 and 6. All right, so I had 39 in my bag. So we're going to take those out. So now what we're going to do is everywhere there are 4, we are going to remove the cubes and gain a check mark. There are 4 here. There are 5 in Connecticut. Yay, Connecticut. Yay, Montana. Let's see, there's 4 in Virginia. Yay, Virginia. I think those are all the ones for now, huh? Then, similarly for them, we're going to take 13 of theirs out. 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. All right. And this is going to be our rallying cry here now. So anywhere they have 4, and whichever of us gets rid of these first. Now, if we get to the end of the round, then we go to a final voting, which will give us a roll-off, and we're going to play an event for that. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to play this, our national focus. We're going to add 2 or 2 in one state of each region. So let's figure out where we could add 2. We'll start here. If we add 2 to Washington, they will vote. If we add 2... All right, so we'll add 2 to Kansas for now. Down here, we'll add 2 to Florida. Over here, we're going to add 2 to Delaware. I'm not sure this is my best move, but this is what I'm doing. And in the Northeast, we're going to add 2 to Maine. Okay, whew. Now it is on to them. The Women Patriot. This bi-monthly newspaper published by the NAOWS stated it was dedicated to the defense of the family and the nation against feminism and socialism. We're going to add 2 to any 3 states. All right, so... how do we want to do that? Maybe just keep them in favor? 1, 2, 3, like this. Then I will get bonuses. That final roll. All right, so now we can use this one to remove from states. 2d8. So let's play this one. We'll get rid of this. We can remove 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll bring them down. They don't get to do that, so instead they're going to roll. They're going to go to 6, to state 3. 1, which way does it go? 2, 3, and they're going to add 4. Yikes. All right, so now we really want to take a campaign one, but we also have this one, which gives us better rolls in the final voting, which has to be the thing we do, right? So we're going to do that, and we'll be left with 2 cards because we had 1 extra in our hand. We're going to play voter registration. The suffragist player rolls a D8 instead of a D6 during final voting. And their last card is going to be remove all purple from the 2 states with the most. Ooh, that's no fun. So that is going to be Florida and Illinois. All right, the Red Scare. Socialist revolution triggered American panic and radical suffragists. Like other leftists, they were demonized as dangerous extremists and un-American. All right, so now we have to go to the final vote. So apologies. Well, I just double check because there's the other dice that I'm supposed to use. I can spend these to reroll. There's also something where I can win ties. I don't win ties, but I have a better roll. All right. Oh, I can use those. Got it. So these have better rolls on them to make it harder. Oh, so there you go, Eric. They give you dice that make their die rolls better. So if you want to increase difficulty, they actually will up that. Oh, and that's the grays are supposed to be for their final voting. Did these have higher numbers on them? So still 1 through 8. 1 through 6. Okay. All right. So the final thing is going to be neither players won the game. Take turns. Select a state to vote on the 19th Amendment. Roll a d6. You could spend a reroll. Add the number of cubes you have. Okay. Cool. So we're going to go through it. So there's going to be a lot of die rolls. So we're going to go numerically here. I think is going to be the easiest way to do this. So they are going to roll the gray die. They're going to roll this gray die. I'm going to roll this white die. And we add our number. We're supposed to pick states, but I'm just going to go through and roll them all. It says that they picked theirs with the highest. I think it's just going to make sense. Oh, there's some other rule, right? When they... Yeah, I don't think it matters. It says that they picked the one with the most, but I feel like that's just to get us through. So we're going to go to 1, and we're going to go to 1. It's all set. 2. So I get a +1 to my die roll. That is 4, 2, 6. So I'm going to spend one of these to reroll mine. I still have a 5. So I lose this state. Boo. Guess I shouldn't use them. 3 to California. I have a 3. So I win this state. Yay, California. 4 is going to go here. I get a +3. Yay, Idaho. I don't mind these die rolls because I've got a modifier, right? I've got 2 modifiers in my favor, so works pretty well. To Nevada, I get a +1. They win ties. I will lose it. Boo, Nevada. Here, Utah, they get a +2, and they win ties. Can't roll much higher than that. So, boo, Utah. I get a +1 in Arizona. Yay, Arizona. They get a +1 in New Mexico. Boo, New Mexico. All right, then we'll go to the plains. We're all set. We're set. So 3, I get a +3 in Colorado. Hey, yay, Colorado. I get a +3 in North Dakota. Yay, North Dakota. I got a long way to go. It is even in South Dakota. Hey, yay, South Dakota. Need some of those rolls. I get a +3 in Nebraska. Yay, Nebraska. I get a +3 in Kansas. Hey, nice. Yay, Kansas. I get a +1 in Oklahoma. Yay, Oklahoma. Wow, this is going well now. +3 in Texas. Perfect. Yay, Texas. Oh, yeah, yep, perfect. Whew. I get a +1 in Arkansas. Yay, Arkansas. They get a +1 in Louisiana. I gotta steal some of these, huh? Hey, yay, Louisiana. They get a +2 in Mississippi. No shot. All right, so I spend here because I can roll higher. They're a 5. I'd have to roll a 6, 7, or 8. No, we'll just let it go. Ooh, Mississippi. All right, Alabama. I guess that's the one thing. If I did it in that order, then maybe... whatever. I'm not going to overthink it. I get a +1. Ooh. All right, so they are a 6. I would need to roll a 6, 7, or 8. So we're kind of in that same boat, huh? Yep, we're not going to do that. All right. Georgia. I get a +1. Ugh. All right. Florida's an even roll. Yay, Florida. Forgot South Carolina. I said it. All right, so that's one where they get a +2. They're a 6. I'd have to roll a 7 or an 8. Nope. It's a tricky spot now. All right, we're going to Tennessee. They get a +2. All right, 8 to my 6. Nope. Man. Kentucky, they get a +1. I will spend to reroll. Hey. Yay, Kentucky. Not looking too good here, though, huh? West Virginia, they get a +1. 3, I will reroll. 5. Yay, West Virginia. Pennsylvania, I get a +3. Yay, Pennsylvania. Maryland, I get a +3. Yay, Maryland. Delaware, I get a +2. Yay, Delaware. I think I missed this region here, right? Minnesota, I get a +1. Yay, Minnesota. It's going to be close, but these are going to be tough. I have to get rolls in my favor. Iowa, I get a +1. Yay, Iowa. Missouri, I get a +1. So I'm going to have to reroll that. Yay, Missouri. I got no more rerolls. Wisconsin, I get a +2. Yay, Wisconsin. Illinois, nope. Michigan, they got a +1. Boo. Illinois is even. They win Illinois. Man. Indiana, they get a +1. And they win. And that is the end. So I didn't quite get there. Boy, I felt good about that. I wonder if that one that was ties and I was spending things. Boy, but man, imagine if I had rolled the one that gave me the 3. Then it would have been ratified and I could have just worked. So I think I worked too much to remove theirs and not enough to add mine. I should have gotten things to 4 and just had them flip so I didn't have to do the die rolls. I was thinking the +3 would be in my favor. So it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would have been in my favor, but I needed a lot more die rolls to go my way. So a little tricky, right? All right, well, there you go. That is Votes for Women. I did not succeed. Also, you know, the more you play it, the more you'll pay attention to some of the events and where they could be key in terms of happening, like what's going to happen in California. Like if you don't put multiple colors, you don't get that effect in California, so you could probably remember that and do a little bit better versus it. And then also play against people. You can use this bot, and then you could just play the 2 different colors, which is nice. They have rules for all that, so you would know how to do those things. So There you go, everybody. That is votes for women. Thank you so much for watching. Definitely check out the game. Like I said, I don't think mechanically there's too much groundbreaking, but I think it's really interesting to play these style games and learn all this history, which is why I made sure to read the flavor text on the cards like this, as opposed to a fantasy game where I think flavor text is nice, and I appreciate it for sure, but it's not always as big a deal. But man, we had those rolls going for us early, and then they did not turn our way in the end, so that was rough. Towards that. We also could have, instead of making that die roll, we could have got another campaigner on the board, which would have been interesting. So I think I had some better decisions I could have made to play it a little bit safer. That probably would have helped me. I was going for those big die rolls, and they didn't pay off. I could have chose against them. So that turn where I needed to roll 3, 4, 5, or 6, and I would have turned this, and then I think I would have easily won. I could have instead taken the one that added 1 to Congress and put another campaigner out. So now when I'm rolling, I would roll 4 dice to try to get those, right? So it wouldn't be as bad. And I'd have a 4th campaigner on the board, so I'd roll 4 dice. So I'd be rolling 4 of these D12s, and add something like 8, 10, 11 a turn. Like I could just discard a card to add 11. And I could have played the other one that turned those into D6s, right? Even. So I could have been looking at something like this one, which was 13. So I could have been adding 13 a turn and just kind of covering the nation in votes that would have been in my favor. So that was probably the safer way to play, but I went for the die roll there. And I played a little bit into that in case I made that look kind of necessary or stronger than it is. I think it's present that you can do that, but I was pushing a little bit. So there's that. All right, thanks everybody so much for watching. If you haven't yet, check out the Right Brain Rollers podcast, which is the podcast I do bi-weekly, which is every other week with Eric Summer. This last episode, we focused, our doubles review was on Starship Captains from CGE, so you can check that out. All right, thanks everybody for watching. My name is the Brandt, and until next time, I hope you step into the portal. Have a great day.